Chapter 4. Katie! Katie! Katie awoke suddenly. What? What? She had forgotten where she was. She looked around and realized she was still in Joe's cabin and had fallen asleep in the chair. Katie, the voice came again. She saw that Joe was awake and that it was nearly dark outside. Joe, is everything okay? She asked. Yes and no, he said. I'm feeling a little better, but I need to pee. She hadn't considered that and didn't quite know what to do about it. Okay, sure. Let's see. What can I do? Just help me up, please. No, who knows how much damage I did the first time I moved you. We can't risk making you worse. It will be okay, Joe said. I'm not going to pee in a cup, especially not in front of you. Trust me, I can do this. Katie thought about it for a few seconds and said, Okay, fine. Where's your bathroom? There's an outhouse behind the cabin, but there is no need to go that far. Just get me out the front door. Katie went to his side and helped Joe to sit up. She noticed the bruising on his right arm was almost gone. What the hell? She said, and lifted his shirt to look at his chest. It looked almost normal. Should you be doing that on a first date? Joe asked. She looked at his forehead, and the cut was barely noticeable. Nobody heals this quickly, she said. Is this some kind of game? Did you throw yourself on my car on purpose? Are you trying to scam me? I am not trying to scam you. Please, help me now, and I will try to explain everything. Katie looked at him for several long seconds and then said, Fine, but if you're trying to scam me, I will make sure everyone knows about it. I happen to be a news reporter for Channel 23 News. A reporter, huh? Joe said. Well, I guess I will just have to not scam you. Katie helped put Joe's coat on, and then she put her coat on. She helped him out of the bed, and they hobbled to the front door. Katie noticed it was a little easier now than it was when she brought him into the house. She opened the front door and saw that the snow had slowed and was only coming down in flurries. The last remnant of daylight was disappearing behind the trees. I need you to stay with me and help hold me up, Joe said. When he unzipped his pants and started to pee, Katie looked away, but the temptation was too great and she had to sneak a peek. When he finished, he zipped up his pants, smiled, and said, Did you like what you saw? Unfazed, Katie replied, I've seen better. Ouch, Joe said as they hobbled back into the cabin. Once Katie had Joe back in his bed, she said, I have to pee too. I'll be back in a minute. She went around to the back of the cabin to the outhouse and found the simple act of peeing was the most unpleasant thing she had done in a long time, outside of breaking up with Brad. She wondered how people in the old days survived. When she returned, she sat beside Joe and said, Okay, spill it. What is going on here? And don't bullshit me. I can smell bullshit a mile away. To be honest, Katie, knowing you are a reporter means I can't trust you with my story, Joe said. I have been perfectly happy living a life of privacy. If what I am gets out, I might as well kiss it all goodbye. You said you are not wanted by the police. I assume that means there is no danger of you going to prison. So how bad can it be? There are different kinds of prisons, Katie. I get that. I feel like I'm in one now. Really? How so? Joe asked. When I said I was a reporter, that was kind of stretching the truth. I am actually a news personality who seems to have been placed in personal interest stories jail. I will be 30 years old tomorrow, and I can't get past doing stories about hot dog eating contests. Well, happy birthday. You look great for being over the hill, Joe said with a laugh. Laugh all you want, Katie said. Someday you will turn 30, and then let's see how funny you think it is. I happen to be over 30, Joe said. Shut the front door, Katie said. I don't believe it. It's true, Katie. Well, you look really good for over 30. How old are you? That is something I prefer not to talk about with a reporter or a news personality or whatever you are. I promise this will be completely off the record, Katie said. I have no desire to bring more harm into your life than I already have. I'm sorry, Katie. I can't risk it. I have already seen some very unusual things here. If you don't tell me, my curiosity will force me to investigate, and that investigation will be on the record. Joe thought about it and eventually said, Okay, you win, but you must promise this stays between us. Of course, Joe. I promise I will not tell anyone your secret. Okay, get me a knife from the kitchen. A knife? What do you need a knife for? Katie asked. Bring me a knife, and I will show you. Bring a paper towel, too. Katie opened the silverware drawer and found a knife. She then pulled a paper towel off the roll and brought them both to Joe. He took the knife in his left hand, held up his right hand, and sliced it across the palm. "Shit, Joe! What the hell's the matter with you?" Katie grabbed his right hand and dabbed the cut with the paper towel. "This is deep. You need a bandage." "No," he said and closed his fingers into a fist. "I only need rest. Tomorrow, you will see." "See what?" "What will I see?" Joe said nothing. His eyes were closed. Sensing she would not win this one, Katie said, "You really are something, Joe. I don't know whether to admire you or get you a psychiatrist." Joe remained silent, so Katie decided to let him sleep. She picked up the book she was reading and settled into the sofa. After about an hour, Katie put the book down and checked on Joe. He was still sleeping. She checked her phone but still had no signal. She noticed the battery was low and needed to be charged. She figured she should bring her suitcase inside since she would be stuck there until morning. She put on her coat and went out to the car. She noticed that the snow had stopped and briefly considered getting in her car and trying to make it to the ski resort. But she didn't know how the roads were or even where exactly she needed to go. After dragging her suitcase inside, she opened it and removed her phone charger. She found an outlet beside the sofa and plugged her phone into it. She usually slept nude at home, but packed an oversized t-shirt just in case. She was glad she did. She stripped down to her panties and removed her bra before putting the t-shirt on. There was a blanket folded at the end of the sofa, so she opened it and covered herself as she lay on the sofa. "Pink panties look very sexy on you." Katie looked up and saw Joe's eyes were open. "Damn you, Joe. I thought you were sleeping. How could anyone sleep through all that racket you were making? Did you like what you saw? I've seen better. Go to sleep, Joe." This audiobook continues on the next video. For more information on this book and others by this author, please visit charleshuss.com.